Oh man, what a great year for wrestling. I just can't wait for Raw to go to Netflix, and I just know 2025 is going to be a fantastic year for wrestling. Hopefully, way better than 2024.
Oh, you're not done yet.
B-Man, it's already 2025. No one cares about 2024 anymore.
I don't care. I run the show here.
No, actually, I do. I just listen to you guys purely out of boredom.
Well, you haven't even seen my Christmas present for you.
All right, B-Man, I'll bite. What did you get me for Christmas?
Look out.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, B-Man. What is this? What's up, doofus? What a wonderful present, B-Man.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about the top 10 worst things to happen in WWE in the year 2024. My name is... Hold up, that's my thing. I'm the one that does that. Well, I want to help. Fine, let's just get through this. Number 10, Crown Jewel. I'm going to keep this entry very brief because I don't think anybody in their right mind actually enjoys Crown Jewel, except maybe for the Saudi crowd. This year had absolutely nothing happened. No storyline developments, no character growth whatsoever, and no titles changed hands. It was such just a nothing pay-per-view. Just nothing happened. Such a waste of time. Not to mention the two gaudy, ugly-looking Crown Jewel Championship, both the men's and women's versions. They both suck. These titles mean nothing. Nobody cares about them. It's like when Braun Strowman won that stupid, greatest Royal Rumble championship or whatever that was. Absolutely worthless. No one cares. And honestly, Crown Jewel just sucks all the time. Every single time. Every time they do a show there, it sucks. It's the worst show of the year. I wish WWE would stop doing them. They probably won't because they make a lot of money out of it, but I just hope that next year we don't. I mean, we're going to have to. There's going to be another Crown Jewel. But eventually, the contract that they have with, the Saudi government, it'll run out. And they won't renew, right? Yeah, this show always sucks. Number 9, LA Knight's United States Championship. LA Knight is the perfect example of a superstar who is more cut out for chasing for a championship instead of actually holding the championship. Santos Escobar and the entire of Legado del Fantasma got completely buried by LA Knight. Then, right after that, it got completely overshadowed by the Andrade and Carmelo Hayes feud. Even the triple threat match that they had, LA Knight barely got any offense in. Go rewatch it. It is an Andrade and Carmelo Hayes match with some LA Knight sprinkled in for the win. Everyone wanted him to be champion, and it was so amazing when he finally won it, and it's unfortunate that he was never really able to capitalize on this championship run. And hopefully, in 2025, he will receive another chance at another championship and will be able to really do something with it this time. This one, though, was a flop. Yeah, all he did was drop it a lot. Number 8, Chad Gable. Chad Gable is an amazing wrestler, and he even had an all-star year this year. Except for they really didn't utilize him as well as they could have. Starting off the year with Alpha Academy and having that small feud with Gunther, and then having American Made with, breaking up with Alpha Academy and Otis and all that stuff was fantastic stuff. Every match, every segment he was a part of was just perfection. But he ends the year with nothing really to show for it. No championships, and as of right now, he's in the middle card of nothingness. And I'm afraid he might stay there for quite a while. And you know, for such a great year for Chad Gable, they really forgot to capitalize on it. The only capital here is the capital in Shorty G. Number 7. Raw's Tag Team Division. The tag team titles were finally split up at WrestleMania 40, with R-Truth and The Miz winning the Raw side of the tag team championships. And not too shortly after that, Judgment Day, you know, Finn Balor and JD McDonough, came around and ripped those titles from them. Finn and JD held those titles for 175 days, which, if my calculations are correct, that's almost half of a year. Half of a year that these guys held the titles and defended them, what, 2 times? And that's it? This kept Raw's tag division so stagnant and stale for half a year. And it wasn't up until nearing the end of the year that they finally dropped them to the War Raiders. Let's hope in 2025, with the new reign of the War Raiders, we will actually see some movement within Raw's tag division. And I know I said I loved Judgment Day this year, which I did. I'm not taking that back by any means. But there's always bad within the good. And their tag team reign just so happens to be it. You know, I don't know. I think holding the title and doing nothing with it actually does a lot for the character. Number 6, the women's tag team titles. Speaking of tag team divisions, boy, was the women's tag team division this year just nothing. It was just nothing. Jade and Bianca, while amazing wrestlers, have held these titles almost the same amount of time as Judgment Day has, and yeah, they've defended it more, but it still just means nothing. Mainly because we know they're holding them, so that way, you know, Jade and Bianca can eventually feud and probably be at WrestleMania, maybe Royal Rumble if we're lucky. And then the addition of Naomi, because Jade got injured, I think it just looks bad for the titles. It just makes it seem like they didn't want to drop them to somebody else because there is no one else. At least no one else that seems like competent competitors. This division truly needs some top tier competitors to actually make it feel like that these titles mean something. Because as of right now, they mean nothing. They're just gold around a waist. Off the top of my head, I can think of 3 teams that are at least decent competitors: the Unholy Union, the Kabuki Warriors, and Fatal 4. Outside of that, there's really nobody. I mean, you could put some teams together, but they're never gonna seem capable. And because of that, the women's tag team division really needs some primetime players to really mix up this division, because if it's just gonna be the Jade and Bianca show until they drop the titles eventually and then face off at Mania, there's really no point in watching any segment to do with the women's tag team division. But hopefully in 2025, that'll change. You know, the women's division can maybe use 1, maybe 2 more tag teams. Number 5, Bayley's treatment. I want to start this entry by saying I'm sure Bayley by no means is mad at where she is on the card right now or how this year has turned out for her, because she got a record-breaking Royal Rumble win, and then she went on to WrestleMania and won the Women's Championship. There's no better way to start off the year. I don't think it's possible to start off a year better than that. But ever since she lost the WWE Women's Championship, she's been on this like downward spiral into the mid-card of nothingness alongside Naomi. Not only was she stuck in it alongside with Naomi, but it was always against Damage Control or some variation of like Io Sky, Dakota Kai, one of them. I don't know. It's just mid-card mediocrity at its finest. Everything that's happened this past year between Bayley, Naomi, Damage Control, all these women, it just seems like nothing again. And it seems that her character is kind of lost in the shuffle. And you can see this at Survivor Series War Games, where she's teaming alongside someone she's been fighting for the past year. How does that make any sense? And unfortunately for Bayley, I doubt that 2025 is going to start as good as her 2024 did. But here's to hoping that 2025 will end just a bit better than 2024. Just get her out of the mid-card already, WWE. What are we doing here? Number 4, Jimmy versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania 40. Many parts of the Bloodline storyline will go down as some of the greatest moments in WWE history. And even the way they built up Jimmy versus Jey for WrestleMania 40 was quite interesting. This match having so much history behind it, of course, the whole Bloodline saga, but then this is only the 3rd time in WrestleMania history where 2 real-life brothers face against each other. It's the first time 2 twins ever fight each other at WrestleMania. That's beyond historic. And unfortunately for Jimmy and Jey, it's the worst brother versus brother match in WrestleMania history. In fact, it might be one of the worst WrestleMania matches ever. This was super kick central with a real lack of anything else except Uso splashes. I think there might have been a dive to the outside. This is an extremely forgettable match. It's... what happened, WWE? Easily the worst WrestleMania match this year. Bar none. Maybe of all time. You know, unpopular opinion, but I personally liked Jimmy versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania 40. There. I said it. Number 3, the women's mid-card titles. Earlier this year, I made a video talking about how WWE should implement a mid-card title in the women's division to give these mid-card women something to actually fight over instead of just nothing feuds. And lo and behold, WWE listened and gave us what we wanted. But it was not in the greatest of fashion. If you didn't see that video, I recommended that WWE create a brand new title, a brand new lineage for these women to fight over and create their own history. Instead, what WWE gave us is just a rinse and repeat of what the men already have. And it's just always going to be compared to the male counterparts. They also didn't really get a segment where they show off the new titles like they do for literally every other championship. It just seemed like just such a second thought. And they were just like, yeah, here's a title for you. Stop asking me about it. It would have made so much more sense to create brand new titles so these women can go create their own history. And with how good the women's division has been this year alone in 2024, they deserved a whole lot more than just copy, paste, here you go. Number 2, Solo Sikoa. Once again, there are many great parts to the Bloodline saga, but one of the bumpiest parts of the road is Solo Sikoa trying to be a heel. He didn't seem like he was ready for the spotlight that was bestowed upon to him, and he would not really get the crowd to be against him. We only really started hating him when Roman came back, because he wasn't a viable competitor for literally anything. And yeah, sure, you could say he's got a win over John Cena, but it was at Crown Jewel, so it means nothing. Plus, there were many news stories coming out saying that WWE doesn't want to bring in Jacob Fatu because they would feel like he would overshadow Solo Sikoa. And they're trying to push Solo Sikoa as this monster heel. And guess what? Whether those stories were true or not, it's true. It's reality. Jacob Fatu absolutely overshadows Solo Sikoa in the ring and even in promo segments, and Jacob Fatu doesn't even talk. I mean, man, Tama Tonga is even more entertaining than Solo Sikoa, and he's done nothing. Sure, they won the tag titles for a little bit, but aside from that, what has Tama Tonga done? I do have high hopes for Solo Sikoa actually becoming a viable competitor in the main event scene, but I hope I'm wrong, and this is just another me and Jay. Like, I didn't like Jay at first, and then he finally, I got over on him. But I just don't see Solo getting any better. It seems like this is it. Don't get me wrong, sometimes he's funny. But a viable competitor for the WWE Championship? Nah, you can swerve me with that. I don't know what you're talking about. Solo Sikoa is easily one of the greatest heels of all time. In this generation, Attitude Era, Golden Era, pick whatever you want. He is the greatest heel of all time. And finally, number 1, Cody Rhodes' title reign. Everyone thought at WrestleMania 39, Cody Rhodes was a shoo-in to beat Roman for the WWE Championship. But it wouldn't be until a year later at WrestleMania 40 that Cody Rhodes would finally finish his story. And we were all so ecstatic when he won, mainly because we were kind of sick of Roman at the time. Now, I want to say that I think Cody Rhodes is a fantastic WWE champion. Let me say it again. I think Cody Rhodes is a fantastic WWE champion. Now, with saying that, I don't think anybody is on the same caliber as Cody Rhodes. There are no viable competitors at this point in time for Cody, and there hasn't been for the past year. AJ Styles was a great matchup for Cody Rhodes, but nobody actually thought AJ was gonna win. And that same sentiment goes for Logan Paul. Great matchup, but with Logan Paul holding the United States title at the same time, did anybody really think he was going to be WWE champion? Especially since he's also a celebrity? I don't think so. And then Solo. Need I say more? The first person that we actually got that seemed like a viable competitor to Cody Rhodes was Kevin Owens. And still to this point, Kevin doesn't seem like a viable competitor. And you want to know why? They're playing commercials in the middle of the main event for the company's main title. What are you doing, WWE? To me, as a fan, this shows that you don't care about their feud, you don't care about the WWE Championship, and the main event just means nothing at that point. It genuinely felt like this was nothing more than just mid-card match fodder. And not to mention that there were a bunch of times where Cody should have been putting the title on the line for whatever, premium live event was going on at the time. But no, instead he has to be intertwined into the Bloodline saga, which he has no point in being in. Why does he care what's happening with Roman? Why does he care what's happening with Jay? I guess, yeah, they were tag team champions for a little bit. But aside from that, he's WWE champion. He's got bigger and more important things to worry about. Wait a second. No, he doesn't, because there's no viable competitors. Now, I would imagine that Cody is going to hold on to this title all the way through to WrestleMania, and maybe even past WrestleMania, depending upon who his opponent is. But can we get him some actual good competitors. Like, Kevin Owens seems more like one now, especially after Saturday night's main event, where he gave him, that pile driver. But yeah, I didn't see that until like days later, because it wasn't on TV. It was on social media. I don't want to have to go to social media for my wrestling. I like it on my television screen. Thank you, WWE. But yeah, aside from that, I like Cody as a champion. I think he's really good at what he does. He just needs some actual competitors. Like, let's not have him face Gunther at Crown Jewel for a championship no one cares about. Okay, if we're gonna have Cody versus Gunther, let's please have them against each other for either one of their titles, and let's make it actually mean something. Or let's put Cody against Punk, or Cody against Seth. I don't care who it is, just make him a viable competitor, and please don't make it Solo Sikoa again. I just want to watch a match where it feels like Cody Rhodes actually has a chance at losing. Is that too much to ask for? Hopefully not in 2025. Wait, really? Cody's number one? There you go. Are you guys happy now? Can I move on to the next year already?
Extremely.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Good. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and help me ring in this new year with a ring of that notification bell. Thank you all for a great 2024, and here's to an even better 2025. I will see you next time.
But you always pick losers, and he's the worst of them all.